Welcome to US Numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare state $quarter coins, those ordinary-looking coins that could actually be worth a fortune. From minting errors to low mintage surprises, these hidden gems might be sitting in your pocket right now. Stay tuned as we uncover the most valuable state quarters that every collector should know about. Top 1. Today's spotlight is on a coin that many people have seen but very few truly understand, the 2019 United States of America State Quarter from Lowell, Massachusetts. Now, you might be thinking, it's just another modern quarter, what's so special about it? Well, let me tell you, this little piece of metal is hiding some big secrets, and if you've got the right one, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So lean in, listen closely, and don't skip a second, especially if you've got a habit of tossing change into a drawer and forgetting about it. Because this particular Lowell quarter could be worth much, much more than 25 cents. Let's begin by diving into the story behind the coin. The Lowell quarter was released in 2019 as part of the U.S. Mint's America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series dedicated to highlighting important landmarks and cultural heritage across all U.S. states and territories. For Massachusetts, the Mint chose to honor the city of Lowell, a place steeped in industrial history and a symbol of America's transformation during the Industrial Revolution. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a striking and symbolic design, a woman, representing a mill worker, standing proudly at a power loom. She gazes out through a factory window, with the iconic Lowell cityscape and smokestacks in the background. This is not just a design, it's a tribute to the hard-working individuals, especially women, who shaped America's manufacturing might during the 19th century. Flip the coin to the obverse side, and of course, you have the familiar portrait of George Washington, a staple of all U.S. quarters, but this time, it's paired with a modern flair that makes this version uniquely collectible. But now comes the question, what makes this particular coin so rare and valuable? It's not just the history or the design, it's the errors and the condition. You see, while millions of Lowell quarters were minted for general circulation, only a tiny fraction of them came out with rare minting errors or were preserved in perfect, uncirculated condition. These are the quarters that collectors go crazy for. Some Lowell quarters have been found with double die errors. That means certain parts of the design, like the worker's hand, the window frame, or even parts of the text, appear doubled. These errors happen during the minting process when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly between strikes. The result is a misprint, but to collectors, it's a jackpot. There are also reports of off-center strikes, die cracks, and even planchet flaws, small mistakes during the coin's creation that can't be replicated. These tiny flaws make your coin one of a kind, and when a coin is both rare and desirable, the value goes through the roof. But even without these errors, if your Lowell quarter has been preserved in mint state condition, meaning it's never been in circulation, has no scratches, marks, or signs of wear, then its value is instantly higher than a standard circulated coin. Imagine this. A simple quarter that most people ignore could be your golden ticket. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to have a 2019 Lowell quarter with one of these rare mint errors or in flawless, uncirculated condition, collectors and auction houses are willing to pay a staggering $75,000 for it. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000 for one single quarter. So next time you come across a 2019 quarter, don't just spend it or toss it aside. Look closely at the details, check for any doubling, misalignment, or signs of pristine condition. You might just be holding onto a coin worth more than most people's cars. Top 2. We're diving into a very special coin from the heart of American history, the Maryland State Quarter, minted in the year 2000. Now you might be thinking, what could possibly make a coin from the year 2000 worth more than its face value? Well, I'm here to tell you, this is not just any quarter. This is a piece of American heritage, and if you have the right one, you could be holding a hidden treasure worth a fortune. So listen carefully and watch closely, because what seems like an ordinary coin in your pocket could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Let's start with the story behind this beautiful coin. The Maryland State Quarter was released as part of the 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series in U.S. Mint history. This program was created to honor each of the 50 states with its own unique design, and Maryland, the seventh state to join the Union, got its turn in the year 2000. The reverse side of the coin showcases the Maryland State House in Annapolis, the oldest state capitol still in continuous legislative use. Surrounding it are white oak branches, a nod to Maryland's official state tree, and underneath it reads the proud nickname, the Old Line State. This nickname goes back to the American Revolution, when Maryland soldiers stood strong in battle and were praised for their courage and discipline. It's a coin rich with pride, history, and symbolism. Flip the coin to the obverse, and of course, you'll find the familiar image of George Washington, as with all U.S. quarters. But what makes this particular quarter so fascinating isn't just its design, it's what lies beneath the surface. Now let's talk about what really matters to collectors: rarity and condition. You see, millions of Maryland quarters were minted in the year 2000, which would normally mean it's a pretty common coin. But here's where things get exciting. Some of these coins have extremely rare minting errors, and that's where the value begins to skyrocket. There have been reports of Maryland quarters with double die errors, where parts of the design appear to be stamped twice. Off-center strikes, where the design is visibly shifted due to improper alignment during minting. Clipped planchets, where part of the coin's edge is missing in a clean curve. And even struck-through grease errors, where parts of the design are faint or missing due to debris in the die. These errors are not just flaws, they're collectible gold mines. The rarer the error, the higher the value. And if you combine that with a coin that's in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it's perfectly preserved without wear, scratches, or damage, then you've got a coin that collectors will pay top dollar for. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare Maryland quarters? Start by checking the details. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Look closely at the words, the Old Line State, the date, and the finer details of the State House. Is anything doubled? Is the design shifted? Are the edges clipped or irregular? Even the smallest imperfection can lead to a massive jump in value, but only if it's authentic and verified. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for, the part that might just change your view of pocket change forever. If you are lucky enough to own a 2000 Maryland State quarter with a rare mint error and in pristine, uncirculated condition, that coin could be worth as much as $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000. For a single quarter. So don't underestimate the change in your pocket or the coins in your old drawer. The next time you come across a Maryland quarter, look at it closely. It might be your ticket to a small fortune. Top 3. We're shining a spotlight on a coin that has both beauty and value hidden in plain sight: the Montana State Quarter from the year 2007. Yes, the 2007 Montana Quarter, part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, is far more than just another coin from the set. Believe it or not, if you've got the right version of this quarter, you could be sitting on a treasure worth far more than you'd ever imagine. So stay with us, listen carefully, and don't skip a second, especially if you're a collector or someone who just might have one of these tucked away in a drawer or old coin jar. Let's start with a little background. Released in early 2007, the Montana Quarter was the 41st coin in the 50 State Quarters program, issued by the U.S. Mint to celebrate the unique heritage of each state. For Montana, known as Big Sky Country, the design on this coin is both bold and symbolic. The reverse side features a majestic bison skull floating above the rugged landscape of the Montana plains. Beneath it, you'll see sweeping mountains and the words, Big Sky Country. This design is a powerful tribute to Montana's Native American roots, its deep connection to wildlife, and the vast, untamed land that defines the state. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the classic portrait of George Washington, just like all state quarters. But remember, it's not just the design that makes this quarter so special. It's the rare mistakes, limited conditions, and collector demand that take its value from 25 cents to tens of thousands of dollars. Let's talk about the rarity and why collectors are hunting for specific versions of this coin. While millions of Montana quarters were made for circulation, only a very small number contain minting errors that make them incredibly rare and valuable. These mint errors happened during the production process, and though accidental, they're now considered precious by serious coin collectors. Some of the rare errors include double die errors, where parts of the image or text look slightly doubled. These errors can often be spotted in the bison skull, the lettering, or the mountains in the background. Off-center strikes, where the image is misaligned and part of the design is missing from the coin's surface. Die cracks, which look like thin raised lines across the coin, almost like lightning bolts in the metal, and the highly sought-after struck-through errors, where foreign materials like grease or cloth fibers interfere with the design during minting, creating strange textures or blank spots. Now here's the important part: most of these rare coins were unknowingly released into circulation. That means the very coin you spend without thinking twice could be one of the rarest coins ever struck if it has one of these mistakes. Even without errors, if your Montana quarter is in mint state condition, meaning it's perfectly preserved, shiny, and shows absolutely no signs of circulation, it can already be worth significantly more than face value. Coins that were pulled directly from mint rolls or sets and kept in protective holders are the ones you want to look for. But here's where things really get exciting: the combination of a rare mint error and a coin that's been kept in flawless condition can lead to astronomical values. Collectors and auction houses pay serious money for one-of-a-kind coins that tell a story and showcase an error that's nearly impossible to find again. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you're fortunate enough to have a 2007 Montana state quarter with a rare minting error, in uncirculated or mint state condition, that single coin could be worth as much as $85,000. Yes, you heard that right. $85,000 for just one quarter. That's the kind of money that can change your life, and it could be hiding in your old coin jar, a forgotten pocket, or a childhood collection. So, coin lovers, take this seriously. Go through your change, check your collections, and look closely at every Montana quarter you come across, because that rare one might just be waiting for you to find it. Top 4. We're unlocking the mystery behind a quarter that's far more valuable than most people realize. It's small, it's silver in color, and it could be hiding in your pocket change right now. We're talking about the United States of America Nebraska state quarter dollar, and yes, some versions from 2006 are turning heads in the coin collecting world. Now I know what you're thinking: a Nebraska quarter from 2006? Wasn't that released in 2005? That's true, the official Nebraska state quarter was minted in 2005, but believe it or not, some quarters from this series have surfaced with strange and valuable anomalies dated or linked to 2006 due to minting errors, late strikes, or transitional flaws. And that is where the story gets very, very interesting. So if you're a coin collector, a casual treasure hunter, or just someone who loves a good hidden gem, stay with me. What you're about to hear might just change how you look at your spare change forever. Let's begin with the design itself. The Nebraska quarter features one of the most dramatic and beautiful scenes in the entire 50-state quarter series. On the reverse side, you'll find a covered wagon heading west across the plains, passing the towering natural formation known as Chimney Rock. This image pays tribute to the brave pioneers of the Oregon Trail, families and travelers who faced enormous risks for the promise of a better future. The detail in this coin is striking: the oxen, the wagon, the rocky monument, all frozen in time on a 25-cent piece. The obverse, of course, shows the profile of George Washington, but here's the twist: it's not always what it seems. In some rare cases, coins linked to this design but produced under special circumstances, often in 2006, were minted with errors that went undetected, until now. Let's talk about these rare and valuable mint errors that make certain 2006 Nebraska quarters incredibly desirable. Double die errors, where parts of the design, especially the wording or elements like Chimney Rock, appear doubled or slightly out of alignment. Off-center strikes, where the image doesn't line up properly with the coin's surface, creating a quarter that looks crooked or incomplete. Struck on the wrong planchet, where a quarter design is mistakenly stamped on a coin blank meant for another denomination, like a dime or foreign currency. Clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin's edge is missing due to an error during the blank cutting process. And finally, struck through grease errors, where details are missing or faded because debris covered the die during minting. Now, here's where things get truly fascinating. In some extremely rare cases, collectors have found Nebraska state quarters struck or processed in 2006 with these types of anomalies, and in pristine condition, they've been appraised or sold for absolutely stunning amounts of money. But it's not just about the error, condition is key. A coin like this needs to be in uncirculated or mint state condition: sharp details, strong luster, and no signs of wear. A coin that's been carefully preserved can command 10 to 100 times more than one that's been tossed in a change jar for years. Now imagine this, a 2006 linked Nebraska quarter, with a visible mint error, kept in flawless condition since the day it left the mint, no scratches, no wear, just raw, numismatic beauty. That, my friends, is the kind of coin that sparks bidding wars among collectors, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you are lucky enough to have one of these extremely rare Nebraska state quarters with a known minting error, possibly tied to the 2006 run, and if it's in perfect uncirculated condition, your coin could be worth as much as $90,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $90,000. For a single state quarter. So what should you do next? Start by checking your old collections, coin rolls, or even your pocket change. Look for Nebraska quarters with errors, any signs of doubling, off-center designs, unusual weight or edges, or anything that just looks different. Don't dismiss any small imperfection, that could be your jackpot, and remember, coin collecting isn't just about value, it's about the stories, the history, and the thrill of the hunt. Each coin has traveled, passed through hands, and carries a legacy. Some just happen to carry a fortune too. Top 5. We're diving deep into the story of the United States of America New Hampshire State Quarter Dollar from the year 2000. This coin may seem like just another piece of change in your pocket, but as you're about to discover, some versions of this coin can be shockingly valuable. So sit tight, listen closely, and if you're a true coin lover, you're going to want to hear every second of this. Let's start with the coin's background and design. Released in the year 2000, the New Hampshire quarter was the 9th release in the 50 state quarters program. A groundbreaking initiative by the U.S. Mint that celebrated the unique identity of each U.S. state. And New Hampshire? Well, it brought something truly powerful to the table. On the reverse side, you'll find a natural rock formation known as the Old Man of the Mountain. This stone profile, carved naturally into the side of a mountain in Franconia Notch, was an enduring symbol of New Hampshire's spirit, rugged, independent, and resilient. Alongside the image is the phrase, "Live free or die," the state's official motto, a bold declaration of liberty that goes back to the Revolutionary War era. Although the formation sadly collapsed in 2003 due to erosion, the quarter preserves its memory forever, turning this coin into both a historical tribute and a collector's piece. Now let's talk about what really gets collectors excited: the rarity, errors, and special features that make some of these coins worth far more than their face value. Even though millions of New Hampshire quarters were minted and circulated, only a few contain rare errors or characteristics that elevate them to elite status in the numismatic world. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding something worth thousands, or even more. So, what kinds of errors are we talking about? Let's break it down. Double die errors. Some of these coins have been found with visible doubling on the lettering or details of the Old Man of the Mountain. If the words appear slightly shadowed or repeated, you might have a double die. Off-center strikes. These coins were misaligned during the minting process, leaving parts of the design shifted or even cut off entirely. A dramatic off-center strike can increase a quarter's value immensely. Clipped planchets. This rare error happens when the blank coin isn't properly cut before striking. The result is a quarter that looks like it has a small bite taken out of the edge, and collectors go wild for these, struck through grease or debris. If the dies used to strike the coin were covered in grease or dust, certain parts of the design could be missing or blurry, creating a unique and rare version of the coin. Transitional planchet errors. Extremely rare. These occur when a quarter is accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another denomination or year. For example, if a leftover 1999 blank was used for a 2000 quarter, that could create a highly collectible piece. Now here's where things get really exciting. Combine one of these errors with a coin that has been perfectly preserved. We're talking mint state condition, untouched, uncirculated, shiny, and flawless, and the value jumps through the roof. While an average circulated coin might be worth a few cents over face value, a rare error coin in pristine condition is a whole different story, and we've seen it happen, collectors paying top dollar for unique pieces. These rare New Hampshire quarters have become the holy grail for some enthusiasts, especially when paired with dramatic errors or oddities from the minting process. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. if you happen to own a New Hampshire state quarter from the year 2000, with a major mint error and in uncirculated or mint condition, your coin could be worth as much as $95,000. Yes, you heard that right, $95,000. That's a fortune for a coin that might be sitting unnoticed in a drawer, an old coin jar, or your childhood collection. And this is exactly why coin collectors are always searching, always checking, and always learning, because the next rare coin could be just one discovery away. So, if you love coins, if you love the thrill of the hunt, or if you simply enjoy learning about the hidden value of everyday things, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to discover a valuable coin like this one. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, don't underestimate any coin in your pocket. That humble little quarter might just be your ticket to a treasure. Until next time, happy collecting.